Okay, so Chris has a job selling newspapers every morning. He receives a base pay of $10 per day, and also gets 15 cents for every paper he sells. Now, this is a tough one. I had to catch myself. Usually, I said when you see something per something, that's usually like the slope, right? Like, times X. But then they say 15 cents for every paper he sells. So we got to process that and think about that. And it says one morning he made $16.45. How many papers did he sell? This helps. How many papers did he sell in one day? So what that means is for that day he received $10 plus 15 cents, which we'll put as 0.15 for every paper that he sells. So in other words, we don't know how many papers he sold, but whatever he sold, he got 15 cents per paper, and this is what he gets per day. This is like the initial thing. If he doesn't sell a single paper, he gets paid $10. That's his base pay. All right? So this is what you would call the initial condition, right? And well, actually, P is for papers, and this is the 0.5 is the unit rate, which we often refer to as a slope. And then one day he made $16. Oh, I was really struggling making that 6. And then 45 cents. Okay. So remember that the coefficient of the variable, that's very fancy math talk for the number in front of the letter. And I got to use the fancy words sometimes because they'll say, Mr. Adams, you make it hard. No, it is hard. I'm just teaching it to you. Okay? They use those terms, and I got to teach you those terms too. So this is the coefficient. This is the variable. But that's always the last step. Not always. I would say 99% of the time that's the last step. Because I have to decide, do I move the 0.15 or the 10? This is usually done last, so I'm going to move the 10 first. What is the 10 doing to P right now? It's adding, right? So to move it, what do I do? Subtract. I do the inverse operation, which is to subtract. Whatever I do on one side of the equation, I do to the other, right? And this is called the subtraction property. Now, this isn't in the, they're not asking you to know the properties. I just like to write it down because that way you get familiar with it. Usually what happens when we teach math, we take one little section and we teach it to you and expect you to remember it 3 years later on the SAT, and there's no way, bless you. You do that. Not me, of equality. Now what that means is the equation is still equal because I subtracted the same things on both sides. Okay. All right. So then these cancel, and I get 0.15 P is equal to, what is that, 645? And then I'm going to divide both sides by 0.15, yes. I can. Bye. Divide by 0.15. And these cancel, and I get P is equal to, do that on your calculator real quick and tell me what it is. Huh? $43? All right. That's it? So for me, that was D. Oh, did I say dollar? Yeah, you know what? You're right, because this is dollars. And so this will be dollars. And so the dollars will cancel, and you're just left with the number 43. Thank you for pointing that out. Mr. Adams has to remember that. Okay? Any questions? Okay, cool. I'm going to leave that up there for a second so you guys can finish copying it down. Yeah, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Oh, that's a little too much, huh? There. All right, cool.